Hello, Numa22 here, and welcome back to another new Digimon video. Today we're continuing to swap around the Digimon Partners, but this time around I'm looking at the 02 Tamers. I love 02. It's probably my favorite season of Digimon, genuinely. Absolutely adore it. I love the Armor Digivolution. It's what makes its shortcomings so much worse for me is that we don't get to see the Digi-Eggs swapped. We don't get to see almost any ultimate levels. It's just anyways. But anyways, let's set some ground rules for this partner swap. I'm going to continue to try and not use previous evolutions, even if they fit. Again, I like to think that certain evolutions are directly associated with a bond or even their individual crusts. I again won't be doing the usual swaps you might see in these types of videos. So we've seen 100 different versions of Ken partnered with Veemon, so I'd rather swap based on other properties or relationships. Let's get into it. First up, we have the pre-season besties, Yoli and Cody. Now, I have my own gripes with how this season handled them. Like TK and Kari, they were set up to have a pre-established friendship before becoming DigiDestined, and I don't personally feel like the show paid enough attention to that. Also, Yoli should have been given the Digi-Egg of Knowledge, while Cody should have gotten the Egg of Love. They fit way better that way, with Cody needing Yoli to fix his computer even in episode 1, but I digress. I actually plan on doing a video on crest and egg swapping in the future, so we'll get to kind of see truly how things might change differently, even partner-wise. So let's go ahead and start with Yoli. Yoli will have her bestie's OG partner, Armadillomon, for this swap. Now, I actually do love Armadillomon for Cody as a foil to his shy and cautious personality, but in this swap, I think him and Yoli would have more raw power and chaos, within reason, of course. She's not evil. Yoli, of course, against my own personal beliefs, does end up with the Digi-Egg of Love. I'm already possibly going to make some people mad here, because I have it allowing Armadillomon to armor digivolve to Elephantmon. I hate Tyrannomon as an armor Digimon. I just don't care for it. It completely loses any ounce of Armadillomon in its kind of like being, and so I decided to go with Elephantmon instead. Though I still would prefer some better color theming here, so I did that. I changed Elephantmon's skin tone to more closely resemble that of Armadillomon's and added some red in to better represent the Crest of Love's usual themes. I did still keep the silver in to help keep the egg's design involved and made sure to have an airborne Digimon, as that has always been a big component of the Crest's themes. Now, let's get back to Armadillomon. The second Digi-Egg that Yoli is entrusted with is the Digi-Egg of Sincerity. This one hurt, just a smidge, because Shurimon is literally one of my favorite Digimon. But we have something that is also cool and fun in store for our boy here. So Armadillomon will armor digivolve to Frogmon. Yes, I'm sticking with the standard Evo here as it works well. The color match is there, and it ties in all the themes of sincerity as well. I also kind of feel like the stars that Frogmon is holding almost nods to Shurimon in this instance. I could be reaching. No notes. No notes. I absolutely love this, but let's get back to Armadillomon one more time. Now, Yoli's partner does get to reach champion form in the show, so I'd like her new partner to as well. Under the influence of Yoli, I have Armadillomon digivolving to Tortamon. Such a solid Evo for Armadillomon. Like, you could have told me it was the standard Evo, and I'd believe you. Again, I feel that Yoli's raw confidence and loud, aggressive personality would translate to a much more intimidating form for her partner here. So, yeah. Armadillomon, with the help of his new partner Yoli, will armor digivolve to what I have named Trunkmon. What I have named Trunkmon with the Digi-Egg of Love, or Elephantmon if you hate recolors, or me. Then into Frogmon with the Digi-Egg of Sincerity, and lastly will naturally digivolve into Tortamon. Now, as many of you may have already assumed, we're not done with Yoli just yet, but more on that in a bit. Cody and Hawkmon. As with our previous pairing, I felt their new partner would work as an amplifier for their personality, as opposed to a foil. Hawkmon's at times calmer personality would help Cody calculate his actions and plans moving forward. Now, Cody is entrusted with the power of the Digi-Egg of Knowledge, so this time around, Hawkmon would armor digivolve to Veemon. Now, upon recording this, I'm realizing I totally meant to do a recolor for this Digimon to more closely resemble the egg, but I've spent enough time on this project, so we're just gonna let Veemon fly. Though it doesn't match the color of the Digi-Egg, it does work as a good color path for Hawkmon and even includes his feathers. I also really love the folding in of the insect trait to reflect Kabuterimon, but again would have preferred a more bluish purple color here. But let's rejoin Hawkmon. So the second Digi-Egg that Cody is given is the Digi-Egg of Reliability. Now this one I did like a lot for Cody. His calm attitude lends himself well to the power of reliability. This would allow Hawkmon to armor Digivolve to Orcamon. Now let me start off by saying I love Orcamon. Like, oh my god, so much. However, I just love Samarimon so much that it stings to see any other Mon here. That being said, Orcamon embodies the spirit of reliability with its life vest and floaty. I also love that even as a whale Digimon, it's still kind of bird-like in stature. We even get a visual nod to Hawkmon's head feather on the dorsal fin, which I love. But let's return to Hawkmon one last time. Like Yoli, Cody's partner is also able to reach champion form, so I think with the influence of Cody, Hawkmon would naturally digivolve to Buraimon. Oh my god, do I love this pick. I had a completely different line picked out, like literally it created this whole thing, had a completely different line picked out, and I had to change it all because Buraimon popped up, and I was like, whoa. Like I did not even think about Buraimon is perfect here. Not only is he one of my actual all-time favorite Digimon, but it also works so well as Cody's partner. Not only is this form more calculating and sleek, but it also ties into Cody's kendo training we see him doing with his grandfather. This leaves us with our banger of a lineup. Hawkmon, with the help of his new partner Cody, will use the Digi-Egg of Knowledge to armor Digivolve into Veemon. Then the Digi-Egg of Reliability will allow him to Digivolve into Orcamon. And lastly, he will naturally Digivolve into his new champion form, Buraimon. I love this lineup, dude. Like, oh my god. But it's not a 0-2 video without DNA Digivolution. Yep, so what actually got me thinking about a lot of this in 0-2 was always hating the DNA pairings in the show growing up. I always felt that Cody and Yoli worked as good enough foils to each other's personalities that they would work well as a DNA pairing, plus they were friends before all of this started. So if we have Tortamon and Buraimon come together, they will DNA Digivolve to Vulturemon, a solid Birdman Digimon that we haven't seen too much of yet. But I know what you guys are thinking, the colors don't match. I got you, babes. I got you. I have deemed this new version Buzzardmon. I wanted a clearer influence from Tortamon, so I recolored the shoulder pads and the armored parts to reflect his shell. But overall, I like both options for this combo. On to our next pair. Now I have some strong feelings about these two. As a kid, I hated Davis. I truly did. I have grown to appreciate him more, and I even loved him in Last Kizuna and the beginning, even though the rest of the beginning sucked. However, and I may get some flack for this, he should not have been the Gogglehead. Nothing you guys tell me is going to change my mind that as much as I actually like Davis as a character, he's not a leader. He's literally not. He's even in the future areas, he's not a leader. He's just rash and impulsive. Yes, he has the crest of courage. That is not, but they treat that like a Red Ranger role. Like that means he gets to be the leader. Wrong. He should not have been a Gogglehead. We have two people, TK and Kari, who have not only already been to the digital world, but have saved both worlds before. Either of them could have and should have been the leader of this team, but I digress. I decided to swap this pair mainly because for a majority of the season they act as rivals, or at least Davis views them as rivals. It makes a lot more sense to me to pair them up over TK and Cody in my own opinion, because to be frank, TK and Cody have very little interactions, and that's kind of what their DNA pairing is based off of. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. But let's start with TK and Veemon. Having an impulsive and rash partner like Veemon, I think would make a good challenge for this older version of TK. I think he would have trouble settling him down at times, and it could cause some fun trials in their journeys. Now, Veemon is a solid rookie who I actually really like now, but where to go with him? Naturally, TK is granted use of the Digi-Egg that corresponds with his crest, the Digi-Egg of Hope. This allows Veemon to armor Digivolve to Sagittariumon. Alright, now let me level with y'all. I low-key hate this pick. This is the standard Evo for Veemon with the Egg of Hope, and as much as I do like this Digimon, this feels like a Courage Evo at the end of the day. I'm not even sure if a recolor would fix it for me, so I decided to just stick with this Evo. But let's get back to Veemon. So, unlike the previous two DigiDestined, TK never got another Digi-Egg. He only ever got use of the Digi-Egg of Hope, which is... yeah, but he did retain the power of his crest. So his previous partner not only reached champion, but actually reached his ultimate form as well. So naturally, Veemon will digivolve to Yaxamon. I know it's a sincerity armor. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. It is such a good Evo. And again, it's my video. If you hate it, yell at me in the comments. Just kidding. Please don't yell at me. I will cry. It'll make everybody uncomfortable, and then you guys will yell at me more. I don't want to do that. Anyways, either way though, Yaxamon is described as a warrior of devotion, which I feel ties closely enough to the Hope themes to justify this. Speaking of Hope, TK's crest is of course going to activate at some point. The Crest of Hope will have Veemon, now Yaxamon, digivolve into his new ultimate form, Nightmon. That's right, Veemon got to reach an ultimate form of some kind, finally. Nightmon is a solid continuation of the Swordsman theme, and ties nicely to the Crest of Hope. I could be misremembering this, but I think his shield even has the crest on it. But this rounds out our lineup for TK. Veemon, with the help of TK, will first use the Digi-Egg of Hope to armor digivolve into Sagittariumon. Then he will naturally digivolve into his champion form Yaxamon, and then finally use the power of the Crest of Hope to reach ultimate level as Nightmon. Complications aside, this is a solid line for sure. But it's Davis and Patamon's turn now. I must repeat, I really do like Davis now. I genuinely just feel like he shouldn't have been the gogglehead of his team. But, you know, who knows? Maybe Patamon could help him get there. Iconically, Davis is granted the Digi-Egg of Courage. All my leadership issues aside, I do believe he represented Courage well, especially with his similarities to Tai. Now, the Digi-Egg of Courage would allow Patamon to armor digivolve to Baronmon. I know a lot of people hate on this Evo, but I actually like it. I do wish there was a more fiery element, but that could be present when he fights. I like that he's covered from head to toe, which makes explaining away Patamon's body not being present a little easier too. But, of course, this is only Patamon's first form. Davis is also given the Digi-Egg of Friendship. This will allow Patamon to armor digivolve to Thunderbirdmon. Alright, Numa's playing Digimon God again. Stegomon, the standard Evo here, just doesn't work. I don't care what it doesn't work for me. Thunderbirdmon works really well color-wise, and I like the idea of taking Patamon's flying skill to new heights. It also feels like a flying alternative to Ragermon or Lydramon, depending on your dubisms. But yeah, I do really like it. But where TK was lacking in Digi-Eggs, Davis was rich with them. Davis also gains the power of the Digi-Egg of Miracles, which would lead Patamon to armor digivolve to Rhinomon. Yeah, he's perf. I love him. He's such a great design, and I think works really well as a Patamon Evo because it just kind of takes that almost pig body and amplifies it. But even with the perfect armor Evo, we gotta get back to Patamon. Davis still gets his partner to reach champion form, even with all these damn eggs. Patamon would naturally digivolve to his champion form, which here is Teruimon. Well, maybe. So I like the idea of Patamon's ears growing out to become less wing-like, but purple? I don't know. Just kidding. Obviously, we're going to do a recolor. Meet Clawmon. I folded in more of the colors from Patamon and Angemon, and even got rid of the horn so it doesn't look like an obvious Lotmon Evo. I actually really like this design, to be honest, and I hope you guys do too, or at least see the vision. This brings us to our lineup. Patamon, with Davis's help, will use the Digi-Egg of Courage to become Baronmon, the Digi-Egg of Friendship to become Thunderbirdmon, and the Digi-Egg of Miracles to become Rhinomon. Then he would naturally digivolve to his champion form, Teruimon, or, if you're fun, Clawmon. But, as was the case before, we're not done just yet. Let's see what happens when we combine TK's Yaxamon with Davis's Clawmon. They'd come together and DNA digivolve to Thrashmon. Okay, I did another recolor. Stop yelling at me! I really liked Strike Dramon, but I as always wanted better color matching. So, while combining aspects of both Yaxamon and Clawmon, I thought a Strike-Dramon sporting Veemon's iconic shade of blue and Clawmon's golden gear would work really well. If you hate fun, then Avi, you can just slide in Strike-Dramon there. But enough about these courageous and hopeful guys, let's get a little dark. Kari and Ken work really well as a swap in my opinion. I think I like their personalities together, but I also think their connection to the Dark Ocean is what fully solidified it to me. Let's start though with Kari and Wormmon. Now, I actually love the idea of them partnering up. Kari being overtly kind and cheerful would help the shy and lonely Wormmon come out of his shell more and more. Naturally, Kari will have her Digi-Egg of Light. This would allow Wormmon to digivolve to Gatomon, a solid Wormmon Evo. I really like the design and how it ties into the Egg of Light easily, but let's step it back to Wormmon for a moment. Like TK, Kari never gets another Digi-Egg to use, but she does still have her crest. So let's get Wormmon up to ultimate level. So we're going to start by having Wormmon digivolve into his new champion form, Snymon. Alright, hear me out. Obviously this works on a high level with the color palette, but I also hate that the girls never really get the scary Digimon. Also, this Digimon was fabricated in a lab, so it also kind of works as like a nod to Kari's counterpart creating Chimeramon. It's a stretch, it's very loose, I know, but I'm trying. Now, on to Kari's crest. The Crest of Light gives Kari's partner the power it needs to reach its ultimate form. I have Snymon digivolving to Okubomon. I went back and forth on this a lot. I wanted to maintain Snymon's more primal form, and to keep the scary aspects of him, but I considered doing a color swap. I ended up deciding against the color swap mainly to pay homage to the other major bug line that we see, which is Tentomon. For once, I like that each of Tentomon's evolutions had a very different color, so I figured Wormmon could do the same with his champion in ultimate form. This, of course, leaves us with Wormmon using the Digi-Egg of Light to become Gatomon, naturally digivolving into Snymon, and then finally using the Crest of Light to become Okubomon. A solid and powerful line for our girl Kari. But now let's move on to our final DigiDestined, the Digimon Emperor himself, Kenichi Joji. We're of course pairing Ken up this time around with Gatomon. As per usual, Gatomon's picks will be a little different, taking her limited forms into account. Now, I am fully aware that Ken never actually gets his Digi-Egg of Kindness, nor does his partner ever reach a solo ultimate level, but I wanted this to be fun, so I took some heavy liberties here. If he did use the Digi-Egg of Kindness, Gatomon would armor digivolve to Patamon. I actually love this mon and can kind of see Gatomon's influence in there, which makes sense since it is the standard Evo here. I just wish it had actual armor, but who am I to question it? Let's get back to Gatomon. Now, Ken never really deals with this next Digi-Egg, but I wanted to have another form for Gatomon, so I decided to give Ken the Digi-Egg of Fate. I think him breaking free from the grasp of his Digimon Emperor persona and the Dark Ocean, and helping fight against the evils in the digital world, you could say that he took fate into his own hands. Is that a loose stretch? Absolutely, but whatever. The Digi-Egg of Fate would allow Gatomon to armor digivolve to Maildramon. Honestly, such a great mon, and the standard Evo here, at least for Salamon, but whatevs. I really like this, but I do wish we got a little more of Salamon and Gatomon's influence here, like a holy ring or something. Lastly, I know Ken's OG partner doesn't reach ultimate, but it does get to evolve to champion, so since we're already at champion, let's use the power of Ken's crest. Ken actually possesses the Crest of Kindness. I feel that a combination of Ken's influence and his Crest of Kindness, Gatomon would reach her new ultimate form, Bastamon. I wanted to incorporate both the feline and humanoid qualities we tend to see in Gatomon lines, while also referencing Ken's journey with darkness. Bastamon is a solid mon, and I wish we got to see more of her. I specifically love her in a Mikemon lineup, but that's not what we're here for yet. Maybe. This leaves us with Gatomon using the Digi-Egg of Kindness to become Patamon, then using the Digi-Egg of Fate to become Maildramon, and lastly using Ken's Crest of Kindness to digivolve into her ultimate form, Bastamon. Not too shabby if I may say so myself. We ain't done yet though. One last DNA form for the books. Gatomon and Snymon would DNA digivolve to Fluttermon! Yeah, I did another recolor, but it's to be expected with me at this point. If you're here, if this is not your first video with me, just understand I'm going to do recolors. I'm going to bastardize a lot of this stuff. Fluttermon is, of course, a recolor of Butterflymon. But before you yell at me, they have shown up as armor level, champion level, and ultimate level. Also, this would be a new iteration, so that wouldn't even matter, but I still wanted to cover my bases. I loved seeing Gatomon's color scheme shine through here, but again wanted to incorporate more Wormmon aesthetics, hence the light redesign. However, if you hate fun, Butterflymon slots in here as well. But there you have it. These are my picks for an 02 or a 02 DigiDestined partner swap. But there you have it. These are my picks for a 02 DigiDestined partner swap. Let me know what you think, or if you had any other ideas for swaps or lines. As always, if you like my content, or this video in particular, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Also feel free to check out my TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, which are all linked below. Beneath that, you'll find a link invite to our Discord channel, so feel free to hop on in and join the 282. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions! I love Digimon. God! Now, unlike our previous two DigiDestined, can you see my mouse? You can. Oh, fun. So, unlike the previous two DigiDestined, where am I? Holy shit.